Hello and welcome to the final business tube for section 3 on marketing. Now the final thing that we're going to look at, guys, we've now looked at the marketing mix, the 4 Ps, price, product, promotion and place, and we've also looked at market research. The final thing that you need to know about is protecting the consumer. Now when you're selling to customers, when you're selling your product, unfortunately you can't just sell it and do whatever you like, or actually fortunately for us as customers, but for the business, they do have laws that they need to follow, okay, in order to protect us, the customer and the consumer. Now, the laws that you need to know, guys, and essentially I'm just going to give you these on this slide, so this will be a very short presentation. The laws that you need to know are on here, and the first one that you need to know is the Consumer Protection Act. Now, if you get asked about consumer protection laws on the IGCSE exam, the first one that I would write about is the Consumer Protection Act. The reason being, the name is pretty self-explanatory. It's probably the easiest one to talk about, the easiest one to figure out just from remembering the name. They will ask you about consumer protection laws, you just write Consumer Protection Act, and as the name suggests, the Consumer Protection Act is there to protect consumers and customers from faulty or dangerous products and services. Okay? So it's there to protect us as customers, to stop us getting hurt, stop us getting harmed from dangerous goods. The next one is the Trade Descriptions Act. The Trade Descriptions Act is basically an act that stops businesses from lying. Okay? Now, when a business creates a description for their product, when a business creates an advertisement, they must tell the truth. They cannot start lying, saying we have the best vacuum cleaner in the world when it's absolutely naff, nobody's buying it and it's rubbish. Okay? So they could also, it also stops them from lying, because they might say our vacuum cleaner is 2,000 watt, we have a 2,000 watt vacuum cleaner, it's really, really powerful, and then you buy it and actually it's only 700 watts. So this act stops businesses lying. Whatever they say has to be the truth. They have to be able to prove it, it has to be real. Okay? So it stops false or misleading descriptions of a product's contents, the product itself, or the price. It affects the packaging, advertising, and promotional materials. Okay? So again, just like I put on here at the bottom, guys, to summarise, it basically stops businesses from lying on any of their product descriptions or advertisements. The next one is the Sale of Goods Act. Now, this one's broken down into 3 parts. The first part says that goods must be of satisfactory quality. They must be as described, and they must be fit for purpose. Okay? So when you buy a product, you know when you buy it that it's going to do what it says it can do. You know that it's going to last and not fall to pieces. And you know that what they say it is, it will be. Okay? Because of these laws, these acts. Okay? So the Sales of Goods Act, the 3 parts again, guys. It must be as described. So what's in there must be what they say is in there, fit for purpose, and of a suitable quality. All of these laws here affect businesses, and in order for certainly this one, the Consumer Protection Act and the Sales of Goods Act, in order for the businesses not to break these laws, and this is what you do need to know, you need to know how is it going to affect the business? How does the business have to make sure that it doesn't affect these laws? Now, in order to make sure they don't break these laws, all products need to have been tested. So they will test them many, many times to make sure they do what they say they can do, and to make sure they will last, and to make sure they won't break. Okay, for example, a chair. They'll have a robot and it will keep sitting on the chair over and over and over and over to emulate a person sitting down on the chair, and to make sure that the chair won't break when somebody sits down on it. So they'll have to test it again and again and again and again. The iPhone, they'll have a robot there just pressing the button over and over and over to make sure that button doesn't break. So everything that you buy will have been through this process to make sure that it is as described and fit for purpose and of suitable quality. The problem for businesses of testing products is that it's very, very expensive, it costs them a lot of money to do this, but it's something that they have to do by law to make sure that their products are of suitable quality. The benefit of testing them, make sure we as customers and consumers are satisfied, we're happy, we can trust the businesses, okay, we're willing to spend our money and buy these products. The last one, guys, I only really want you to concern yourself with distance selling regulations if you're going for an A or a B. This is the one that I would say is the one that is the least important out of these. How the exam normally works is they will ask you to give a consumer protection law. These are the three that I would focus on. Just in case you want to use this one, the distance selling regulations. This means that if you buy anything online, over the phone, on the internet, anything where you're not present in the shop, so your distance, the clues in the title, you're away from the business, when that product comes to you and gets delivered to your home, you have 7 days in order to look at the box and decide whether you want it. If you don't want it, you can send it back to the business in order to get a refund. So you have 7 days to send it back for a refund if the product is not what you thought it would be. So you buy the product, you look at the box and you think, no, that's not what I thought it would be. Doesn't match the description. You can send it back as long as you haven't opened it. Okay. So again, the business must accept the product back, and they must give refunds as well back to the customer. And again, this is administration. It's going to cost them money in order to be able to do this kind of thing. But the ones I want you to focus on, the ones I want you to fully revise, are these three here, guys: the Consumer Protection Act, the Trade Descriptions Act, and the Sales of Goods Act. Okay, that's it for consumer protection laws, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this podcast, and I'll see you next time.